he's very close. I think he'll pull it out in the end. It might be one or two votes, but on the floor, but I think he is very close.
So Republican Congressman Tim Burchett telling NewsNation's Chris Cuomo there are now roughly 8 GOP holdouts who are opposed to Congressman Jim Jordan's nomination for House Speaker after there were previously dozens of them. Just hours away now from Jordan's nomination will be up for a floor vote in the House about noon today. Jordan has been racing to try to lock up enough GOP votes, and he can only afford to lose 4 of them with the GOP's slim majority. Let's bring in national political reporter for The Hill, Julia Manchester. Julia, first thing I thought this morning was 8 holdouts feels eerily similar to what we witnessed just 2 weeks ago with the Kevin McCarthy ouster. Are these the same 8? Are we talking about a different set of lawmakers here?
Yeah, well, there could potentially be more. We know that Jim Jordan spoke to members of the Republican Congress in the Capitol last night, but we are still hearing that there are a number of Republicans who aren't on board with Jim Jordan yet, like Mike Lawler from New York or Mario Diaz-Balart from Florida. So definitely a lot of questions as to whether this will take Jordan, multiple rounds, or if this could end up like Steve Scalise and Kevin McCarthy just a few weeks ago. Now, Jordan has said that he is ready to and prepared to do multiple rounds of voting, and that sounds like it very well may happen if he doesn't have, if he has, less than or more than 5 Republicans not supporting him.
Yeah, I know the weekend that the Israel war broke out, Republicans like Mike Lawler were calling for Kevin McCarthy to be reinstated as soon as possible. So we'll see what their votes look like today. This vote is expected at noon Eastern. Is Congressman Jordan starting to lock up the nomination? Are we going to see Republican divisions play out once again on camera, just like we did back in January when it took McCarthy, 15 rounds of votes to win that gavel? What are you anticipating today?
Yeah, look, I think we very well could see multiple rounds of voting here, and it could look like it did in January. The difference here is that we're not seeing the holdouts from, the same Republicans who voted against McCarthy in January. In fact, a lot of McCarthy allies are going to vote against Jordan, some even saying that they will vote for McCarthy himself, even though Kevin McCarthy has said that he will support Jim Jordan for Speaker. So it's going to look a little different, but eerily similar in how it could take quite a long time if he ends up clinching the speakership.
And we also know, Julia, my last question to you, that Jordan reportedly gave assurances to some of his colleagues that he would allow a floor vote to take place on a bill linking aid for Israel and Ukraine. What do we know about that, and what other concessions might he be promising in order to win the job and the gavel later on today?
Yeah, it's interesting hearing Jim Jordan, someone who is very staunchly conservative, one of the more conservative members in the House, and someone who has been a part of the Freedom Caucus, sort of implying that he would be willing to make some concessions. He's talked about, those pieces of aid, but also he's talked about, any kind of a measure that would avoid a government shutdown. So Jim Jordan very much seemingly realizing that sometimes you have to make concessions to govern and reach an agreement. The problem is there are a lot of Republicans in the conference who don't see things that way, don't want that done. So he could face a lot of the same pushback that Kevin McCarthy faced for making very similar concessions.
Okay. We also know Democrats are still floating around this idea of making some sort of bipartisan deal for a speaker. Yet to see what that might look like. Julia Manchester, I imagine we'll be debriefing sometime later on this week. Thanks as always.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.